What is the value of traditional marriage, the bride price, in the context of African marriage or any society that has a bride price or a groom price? Because some society, it is the woman who brings a dowry to the husband. Is the dowry a legally binding marital contract? Depending on the society, it is not. Because bride price stays in the confinement of tradition to find its validity and its value. When we take the African society, bride price is a big deal because that's when culture is celebrated. It's beautiful to see all this pageantry. The man comes in with his family into the compound of the young woman family. And he asks, they hand in marriage, and they do the proceeding, they receive gift, they exchange food, they say everything. And in some tribal society, that very moment, the tribe has received the marriage bride price of the daughter. Therefore, in that very moment, they have declared the daughter married. And some tribe will accompany her out of her father's house, and she enters her husband's house. That's in the setting of a tradition. So she can go, she can consummate the marriage, be intimate with her husband and all of that, start producing children. That's in the confinement of the tribal society. So if the man were to pass away in the confinement of the tribal society, it would take the elders, the families, to decide what to do with this widow. In some tribal society, I'm still in the confinement of Africa, the brother marries his widowed sister-in-law. And we even see in the Bible that that situation happened to the children of Judah. Okay? And it's to ensure, that's when he doesn't have children, is to ensure that his brother has children. His sibling, his brother, takes on the widow of his brother and consummate her in order to hope to produce a lineage to his brother. So it will be up to the tribe to decide what to do with the widow. How to remarry, when to remarry, if she even is allowed to remarry. That's according to the tribal. So all of that you have to take into consideration, young ladies, when you are getting married. If you are a widow very early, knock on wood, you only have 5 years of marriage. I have known ladies who only had 5 years of marriage and became a widow in the prime of the life. 25, a widow. 30, a widow. If you married into a tribe where it says that a widow should never remarry, so your life is finished as far as concerning you entering a relationship with a man. Your life is finished. You are 25. You can no longer enter into a relationship. You have to do due diligence and asking those questions to find out what you are getting yourself into. If you marry into a tribe where they say, as soon as you are a widow, the brother is supposed to marry you. Do you love that brother? Do you care for that brother? Is that brother a good person, a good man, or an evil? You see how he's treating his own wives or wife. The tradition is pushing you into his hand. That's what you sign up for. Is that what you want? Do your due diligence. Ask questions before you make a decision. What are you signing up for? What are you setting yourself up to? So you stay in the confinement of the tribal. As long as you stay in the confinement of the tribal life, you will go by the tribal rule. So the bride price will have a value as far as the tribe gives its value. If the tribe consider the bride price as a covenant, it is. As a contract, it is. Now, you need to stay in the tribal life. You need to stay in the confinement of that tribal life. Because the moment you step into the law, the civil law, and the law of the land as a nation, the tribal life and its rules will be overruled by the law of the land. That's why we have to be careful. The law of the land always has a way of overriding the law, the tribal law. So if we take a situation where you only have a traditional marriage, your bride price have been was paid, okay? So you sit in the house in the city with your husband, quote and unquote. He is working, you are working, you have no legal marriage, you have no marriage, blessed in the church. Even if it's blessed in the church, there's no legal contract with that. There's a spiritual contract, but no legal contract. Now, when the husband dies, when your traditional husband dies, we start with the job of your husband. The company where your husband works, even if he is a business owner, there are business laws that will regulate that business to your detriment if you are not legally married. And if he has a business partner, you can forget about that business unless the partner has compassion for you and allow you to benefit from the hard work of your husband. Legally, the partner can walk away with everything. What is the value of traditional marriage of the bride price? That's the question we have today. The value of a bride price is as good as the confinement of the tribal boundaries. If you go past that, you living in town, you living in a society booming and moving and doing all of that stuff of modern society, you are not married unless you go to the civil court to have a marriage contract signed. You cannot take a bride price to collect an insurance benefit. You cannot take a bride price to collect a company retirement fund. You cannot take a bride price to collect a real estate and inheritance. According to the real estate paperwork that is done with the civil law, If it's in the confinement of a village that the tribe of your family, of your husband rather, where you married into, decide that, okay, in this tribe, we recognize this woman as being the wife of our son. And according to our tribe, a widow inherit the family compound of her husband. Your husband built a house here, that's his family compound, so this is your home. But if it's a land in town, that land in town will be regulated by the real estate law of that town. Your tribal law will not override that to say this is the house of your husband, it belongs to you. No. So be careful to not jump up and down for traditional marriage. Please do have fun. Wear all your traditional attire, wear all the beads and everything, take picture, put it on YouTube, do all of that. But my dear, sign the legal marriage contract. That's how you cover your basis. We stop here.